Please, Dan Orlovsky, listen to me when I tell you this. If you listen to nothing else that I tell you, Dan, please watch soap operas. Please. You'll get it. You just don't get it right now. Let me explain.
Soap operas.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Listen to me. You're talking about the first 4 weeks. Wait. Do we think that Jayden Daniels is going to win MVP? No. But when you consider the fact that Washington, they scored on 20 of their last 22 possessions, excluding kneel downs. When you consider him completing 82% of his passes. When you see how the turnaround has taken place because of how he's gelled with Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, what an exceptional job he's doing is coaching this team. And you look at his level of efficiency, you can't ignore it. Is he above those names that you mentioned? Probably not. But in the conversation, worth the consideration, based purely off the first 4 games of the regular season, sure. And this is why I brought up soap operas, just to be clear. Because we're talking about soap operas. You're talking about the first 4 weeks. It's just the first 4 weeks of the season. Guess what, Dan? I got news for you. If you watch General Hospital, you know Sonny Corinthos, he's going to live. The same thing with Victor Newman on Young and the Restless. He's going to live. But what it doesn't stop you from doing, Dan, is telling the story while the story is going on.
Okay. I did not think I was going to agree with Stephen A. Smith's logic and reason behind this. I agree that Jayden Daniels should be in the MVP conversation, as I've said in multiple videos. But, and in fact, I was actually going to say everything that Stephen A. just said, because I thought they were just going to have a regular conversation about whether or not Jayden Daniels should be in the MVP conversation. And I was like prepared to say yes, and I know a lot of people in the comments are saying settle down, it's only 4 weeks, because in all my Jayden Daniels videos and Washington Commanders videos, that's what everyone keeps saying, and I was going to address it, and now Stephen A. kind of did it in a way, and I'm like, man, you just kind of took apart what I was going to say, but I'm not going to use soap opera references. People are so quick, in the comment section and just casual conversation to constantly say, yeah, why are we talking about this? It's only 4 weeks, And that logic is really just so flawed, because under that logic, then we just shouldn't talk about anything. We just shouldn't talk about sports right now. We shouldn't talk about football. It's only week 4. Let's just see what happens come time playoffs. Let's just see if they can make the playoffs. Let's just see if this player is going to be healthy by week 12. Let's just see. It's like, I don't understand why some people watch this content only to say, well, this is dumb to talk about. Well, then why are you consuming the content? Technically, everything on sports talk shows is just not worth talking about. Well, Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs don't look that good, but you better believe they're going to be good in the playoffs. Okay, so I guess let's just not talk about them. Actually, let's not even watch the games. It doesn't matter what happens on week 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't matter. We'll just start watching in December, January. Right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Now, Stephen A. is kind of saying part of the quiet part out loud, where he's saying things like, it's a soap opera, tell the story, right? He's kind of talking about like, hey, it's the hype, it's the thing. I don't even look at it like that. I understand why he does. Obviously, he's on TV, ESPN. These guys know the ratings very well. They know what moves the needles. They know how to get the clicks and the views. And again, more power to them. But I'm not doing this because I'm like, I want to talk about him being an MVP because it's going to be so cool to put the title saying Jayden Daniels MVP. I mean, that is going to be my title because it's, you got to make the title. But that's not what I find the more interesting about it. I find more interesting just the conversation as a whole, right? And discussing why Jayden Daniels deserves to be in the MVP conversation. Do I think he's going to win the MVP? I have zero idea. I have zero idea how the season's going to go. I have no idea. Maybe the Washington Commanders go, win 12, 13 games, and Jayden Daniels continues to ball out. Under that, then yes, he should be the MVP then, most likely, unless someone else is even more insane, right? Like, I have no idea, but it's going to be fun to talk about because all of my Jayden Daniels videos, and quite frankly, any of the videos that I made and anything on First Take, First Things First, whatever, we could always use the logic, it was just one game, who cares? It was just one game, whatever. We know that Patrick Mahomes is going to be better by the time we get to like week 10 or week 11. Yeah, but can they beat them in the playoffs? Probably not. They never have. Like, every single topic, every single video, every single conversation, every single show can just be dismissed. Whatever. Like, when people say, oh, that's a hypothetical. And it's like, yeah, welcome to sports talk shows. It's all hypothetical. So you either enjoy the ride and you enjoy the conversations or you don't, right? And it's always funny to me when people try to push back. But Jayden Daniels absolutely positively should be in the MVP conversation right now. If we're going to have the conversation right now, because again, under this logic, then we shouldn't have the conversation. Then just don't have the conversation. But that's not how we do sports, though. We talk about these things. We talk about who's the MVP candidate after week 1, week 2, week 3. That's the whole point, is to have these conversations, is to make, content that people just enjoy and just kind of want to talk about. And so, yeah, right now, it's undeniably MVP candidates are Sam Darnold and Jayden Daniels. Those are the top 2. Those are the top 2 quarterbacks playing right now in the NFL. Will it be that same story come time week 8, 9, 10, 15, 16? I have zero idea. But I'm going to keep talking about it until it's not. Right? We'll keep talking about it, and then maybe out of the middle of nowhere, I don't know, Kirk Cousins, he just led a game. He just led 3 game-winning drives this week. Not this week, but since the beginning of this, this season so far. He's had 3 game-winning drives. And I'm recording this on Thursday night, after the Falcons versus the Bucs game, and he led the drive with an insane throw to spike it with 1 second left for a field goal to tie it, and then in overtime led another drive and threw an unbelievable pass in the perfect location, which then led to a touchdown. So maybe he's going to be the MVP, right? Like, I don't know. I wasn't going to, last week, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't going to predict that Kirk Cousins is just going to be doing, these 1 minute and 30-second game-winning drives again and again and again. We have no idea. But it's all fun to talk about. Jayden Daniels has been dominant. Jayden Daniels has been historically great, not even just for rookies, but just quarterbacks in general. So yeah, we're going to keep talking about, for sure, will he most likely, come back down to earth? Will his completion percentage probably come down a little bit? Yeah, most likely. Just like if Steph Curry starts off, in 4 games shooting 60% from 3, doesn't mean that we believe that he's just going to shoot now 60% from 3, right? Just because he has a couple games where he knocks down 8 threes in a game, back-to-back games, doesn't mean we think, okay, he's just going to average 8 threes a game now. But you're still going to talk about it. So it's just funny how much resistance there is. But here's the thing. Would there be the same level of resistance if it was Patrick Mahomes? No. Would there be the same level of resistance if it was Lamar Jackson? No. How about Josh Allen? No. How about Jalen Hurts? No. So then why is there so much resistance around Jayden Daniels? Is it because he's a rookie? How about this? Would there be the same level of resistance if it was Caleb Williams? No. They would say Caleb Williams is doing what he was always meant to do. I told you he's the generational talent. I told you he was the number 1 overall pick. I told you. But when it comes to Jayden Daniels, they want to kind of give a little bit of pushback. That's where things feel a little weird to me, right? If Patrick Mahomes was having an 82.1% completion percentage and was having, more touchdowns than incompletions this season, people would be losing their mind. I told you Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Tom Brady could never do this. That your GOAT could never do this. Kansas City Chiefs, they're 3-peating. MVP, right? That's what they would all be saying. Lamar Jackson, this is going to be his 3rd MVP, back-to-back MVP seasons. The real question is not if is he going to win it, but will it be unanimous again? Can anyone catch Lamar Jackson? But with Jayden Daniels, it's like, And is it because he's a rookie? Because I don't think so. I think that's part of it. But I do believe if it was Caleb Williams, people would be losing their mind. They would be losing their mind. People would be doing their victory laps. I told you, Caleb Williams. I've done my victory laps with Jayden Daniels. So it's just like, and I'm not buying into the idea that it's the Washington Commanders either. I don't really know what it is. We just pick and choose the media, as a whole, who we want to get excited about and who we want to say, well, let's tap the brakes. Because there have been many seasons in the past where Patrick Mahomes gets off to a great start and no one says, let's tap the brakes. Let's tap the brakes. No one really says that. So interesting stuff. But I agree. It's not an overreaction to have Jayden Daniels in MVP conversation. It is not. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think it's too soon to put Jayden Daniels in the MVP conversation? And do you think he can maintain this level of excellence? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.